Alter ego breaks. Definitely hard to kill. They best go down with fire. And it says the result of connecting a subject with dissociative identity disorder to STEM device. The dominant alternate personalities blend into a single two-headed creature. Wow. Wonder which one's the dominant. Must be that one with the crazy mouth. Well, these things are definitely troublesome if they get that tentacle out. I've never really looked at it. What? It looks pretty vicious. Just like a little spider with teeth. It's pretty cool that it's not like just a random mouth, but its own like little creature. That must be the dominant personality they're talking about. I'm assuming is that spider. Maybe. Now the sadist. Everybody loves the sadist. Nah, these things are psychos. They they're hard to take down. They're just brutes. Look at his flesh is just hanging off the bone right there. It's not, or is it looks like his flesh, but then it looks like his pants. I have to call animation out on that one. And they're pretty ugly. One eye's messed up, one's normal. Anyway, a creature born from the mind of a murderer merged with Rubik's madness. He has lost himself to rage, becoming murderousness personified. Well, yeah, I would definitely say these guys are murderousness personified. Now, Zen. This thing, oh man, I kind of panicked a bit when I met him, only because, like, yeah, I wasn't expecting a boss fight. The twin orphan abandoned and raised in a laboratory beneath the cemetery. I think this is the last one I killed. The more cowardly of the two, Zen lashes out violently at those he doesn't know, and he's usually kept chained up. What? See, is this dude like part of the illusion, or is he real? It makes it sound like he's real the way they describe him. Noon, his brother, twin orphan, abandoned and raised in laboratory beneath the cemetery. Noon is never at ease and gets worked up so easily that he is made to wear a mask that covers his eyes and ears. Wow, so this guy is he's a nutbag. He's the one you don't want to mess with. But it's probably why he went down first, because he can't see or hear or whatever. The Keeper. The mysterious Keeper. A creature created from a blend of Rubik's final memories before he was dismembered and is furious at having his research stolen from the safe. Anyone who approaches the safe is killed and their severed head is added to those in the sack. He reminds me a lot of Pyramid Head. I guess he's a little different. He's Cube Head. He's not that different. I mean, I don't know which part's supposed to be Rubik's safe, but he's pretty mad about it being open because he created this dude. Let's look at his bag full of heads. I was always too busy running away from it. Jeesh. He must really love those heads to like mutilate them so well. Trauma. This thing is exceptionally creepy. It's a creature born from Rubik's concept of death and rebirth. Based upon his rejection of the religion his father forced upon him from an early age. So, what kind of face does Trauma have? He has a face of trauma. This dude has been through a lot, obviously. I don't know. It's like a nubby little arm. And is this other arm a nub? Has this thing just been tortured to death? This is a pretty gruesome creature. There's nothing but nubs and actually has some feet. Some cut up feet, but they're feet. And that claw is tight. But I don't understand the point of that. That kind of looks lame. Sentinel. Ooh, this thing. He is a beast. He KO'd me a lot. Guardian of the Church. Bred in a cult laboratory beneath the cemetery, it was raised on sacrificial victims and craves human flesh. So I'm assuming these are real, I'm guessing? It says they're created in a laboratory. This is where it gets confusing. Like, would they create them in the stem? Okay, so it's just full of barbed wire. Let's get a look in his mouth. He looks a lot like the G virus from Resident Evil 2. but not so much as everything else in this game. Everything looks like it's been affected by the G virus on top of barbed wire. I wonder what the deep meaning behind the barbed wire is. Sure, it looks scary, but I mean, those poles kind of remind me of the nodes. Is it just to show how inflicted everything is in this world? Oh, oops, sorry. I totally exited out. Well, I'm just showing you what's in the game, but I mean, I'm just doing monsters though. I'm not really want to go over the characters because I don't know. Not really that important. So, last one we did was a Sentinel. Now we're gonna do Laura. This one is definitely an interesting creature. They really don't tell you anything about it. The creature born from the memory of Laura's tragic death and Ruvik's own vengeance. The thing is nearly immune to bullets but reacts violently to open flames. When I say I don't tell you anything about it, it's just such a short description for such a menacing creature. Like, it teleports between bodies. It may not walk fast, but it definitely can just teleport and get to you quick. And it's only weak to fire. This is definitely like one of the scariest monsters in the game to come across because it one hit KOs you. You don't want this thing like next to you. It's vicious and just reminds you of the Grudge mixed with like Resident Evil. It's horrible. And then the Quell, the hentai tentacle monster. A creature generated by Ruvik's desire to remain unseen by others. It changes colors to blend in with its surroundings and uses its long tentacles to ensnare them, worry, and slay them. This guy's kind of tricky because he tries to hide and turn invisible. On top of those tentacles, he can really like assault you with those just non-stop. Best thing to do is just keep shooting him and like find him when he turns invisible. That's the only thing that makes this boss battle hard. Is he either turns invisible or will hide, and you have to find him. He doesn't come out like on his own little like suicide bomber babies after you. But yeah, this is the Quell. He has an ugly mouth, but I think that's really all that's interesting. He's just like a tentacle thing, hentai monster, whatever. Shigyo, what is this? Oh yeah, the lake demon. An aquatic monster born when a subject drowned during tests and their consciousness became lost within Ruvik's mental world. It dwells in the murky depths and attempts to pull anyone who draws near. This thing is hard to fight because you can't fight it. You can only swim away from it, and it's just creepy looking. You know, like it's got hair everywhere. What's it doing in the water? It doesn't, like at least be a shark, but no, this is a human, not no shark. Just some twisted, ugly, psychotic human that wants to eat you with that giant mouth. That's pretty creepy. Who caught it? Like, who is that? Like, this is just the funniest character model ever. Like, cause some guy is just standing next to it, like it's nothing. Ugh. I can't even imagine fishing that up. How would you even kill it when you get it up? The Amalgam Alpha, the one item stuck to the final boss of this game. And rightly so, because the final boss is the Amalgam, which is not too different, just very, very much bigger. But the Amalgam Alpha, I think, was a lot harder to fight, because the final fight's like whatever. The final consciousness of test subject who died will connect to the stem, combined in a single one horrific shape. It attacks anything that moves, attempting to flee from certain death. So it's like a fusion of like people in the stem, like in just a monster that forms out of them. It's definitely hard to kill. I think that little eye is its weak point, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. But it's a really menacing creature. Once you get it to its second form, it can kill you in one hit. Heresy. Ooh, this thing. A monster with massive insect-like legs, the creature is the test subject who completely lost his identity while connected to the stem and went on a rampage, devouring the consciousness of anyone he found. So, next to the bus, you meet him on the bus, and he just is a jerk. He's got those claws that are the hard ones to deal with. I don't know, this fat little puss buddy is like nothing to really worry about. But those sights, seriously, you gotta watch out for those. I kept getting killed by them until I finally ducked. Yeah. And then a Mulligan. I don't want to say it's the last creature on this list, but definitely the last creature you'll meet in the game. And it's really interesting. It just like reminds you of something of Resident Evil for slash Hell. It's good thing you don't have to really fight it directly. You get to use like a big machine gun mounted on a Hummer, which makes this fight like a little less scary, and you don't have to worry about bullets. But still, this thing is menacing and it kills you instantly, obviously. Look how big it is. There's no fighting it, just surviving the cutscene that it appears in. I'm not sure if I read this, but it's a creature that combines the hate and animosity of the victims of Ruvik's research and his own madness. It grows larger as it absorbs the fear and hatred around it. So, the only complaint I have about it is, why does it have braces? It's not intimidating. Give it sharp teeth, not braces. It just looks lame. What a nerdy monster. The Amalgam Core. So once you finally shoot this thing with rockets and bust its little skull cap open, what happens is you have a split second to choose where to shoot Ruvik. Because if you shoot him right, you kill him and you beat the game. But if you don't, you get eaten. But this is just that final form that comes out. It's nothing too special, and it was, in my opinion, anticlimactic because, I don't know, he could have came out of the monster as a little monster. I don't know, they could have gave you a better last fight, but, I mean, at least you get 2 box heads, which was freaking challenging. But yeah, this is Amalgam at its core. And then we'll go over the Haunted, I guess, since I forgot they're still here. These are just the basic enemies of the game. They bother you. The fat ones are the ones you gotta worry about. They don't just go down from a headshot, in case you're wondering. Maybe 2 or 3 unless you got a high-powered gun. Then you can get them in one hit. But even then, it's better just to shoot them in the leg and burn them, in my opinion. Next, we go to the Haunted Group B. Now here, we got some villagers. Oh, let me read the description. Human test subject connect to the stem and turn into creatures by synchronizing with Ruvik's consciousness. Because I guess the haunteds all have their own like type of being haunted, like they're not all the same. Somehow even people who couldn't be connected to the stem appear as monsters. So these are the people in the beginning of the game. And, I don't know, they're really easy. You just have to sneak up on them. Like out of all the haunted, these ones are probably the most simple. And that guy with the rifle is going to give you the most trouble. Except for the sadist, but he's his own class. Subjects retain a glimmer of their original consciousness, appearing as they did in life. However, having died in the real world, they have lost their true humanity. So, I'm not sure about that blob guy, or the guy with like the tentacle face that turns invisible. But these two are definitely once human, and like you get to witness their transformation. Well, except for him, the fat one, he's just a crazy doctor who's cutting up some dude. And like he's that one, he's Jimenez's brother. So yeah, he's just the doctor's brother. You can remember that. You'll see him if you watch the game or play it. And then the Haunted. Group D. Haunted attack normal humans on sight and attempt to devour their brains, perhaps in an effort to recover their lost memory. Well, these are just the people you meet in the city. They're nothing special. But they eat brains, apparently. Okay, there's more haunted. So the rest of the video is just going to be haunted. But I'm going to go over the hard ones. Like the firemen. Those guys are kind of easy. But the ones with masks are really troubling. Now it's even more troubling than the fat ones. Because the masks sometimes can be steel. And even if they're not steel, they're pretty bullet resistant. So you're gonna have a hard time fighting them. The steel mask is completely bullet resistant. I know the revolver cannot like destroy it, or takes a lot of shots. I don't know. I wasn't sitting there trying to find out. But those guys with masks are definitely the most menacing. Oh, and the SWAT team. How could I forget them? Coming at you with a machine gun and shooting at you. Yeah, they shoot at you. It's pretty messed up. Yeah. And I think this is the last group of monsters, and Definitely one of them's very messy. The dynamite, um, that one's pretty tough. That guy just has a bottle, but our focus here is the one that's like looks just like Ruvik. Somehow it did have a higher level of synchronization with Rook, wears strange masks or hoods. This one is the one that has a higher synchronization. There's a lot of them, and apparently they're haunted. But they attack you with these arms that resemble that creature I showed you earlier. This one. Laura. Yeah, I didn't remember her name. I was going to call her Maria, so. But yeah, those arms basically come up from him. He is probably like the most challenging enemy. But without add-on included, this is like all the monsters from the basic story that you're gonna encounter. So if you ever play Evil Within, good luck. It's a pretty challenging game. See you later. I'm ending this.